Well, I think we have to recognize that this journey to get to where we are now has been quite a long one. Back in the 1940s and 50s, almost all of this history was buried. It was forgotten. Some of it was deliberately erased. The black figures from the past that we know today, they'd been forgotten. Their books were out of print. Their graves and their cemeteries were in cemeteries that were overgrown. They'd been completely lost. And this process of salvage, of recovering Black British history began in the 1960s, 50s and 60s. Then it was built up in the 70s and 80s. Then we had Black History Month begun in 1987, which has been a big engine for making these histories better known. So we are in this process where we first had to build Black history. We had to build it almost from scratch, we had to make it. We had to draw all of these stories, all of these documents, all of these images together into books. And then we had to make it public, and that's where Black History Month has been really significant. I think the phase now is to use this material to integrate it into not just British history, but into British culture. And I think this is where artists and art are absolutely critically important. We've seen recently with Steve McQueen making films about the sort of post-war Black experience, how important that's been. I mean, we haven't had the great film, the great movie about the Black British experience, not been made yet. We haven't had the great television series about the slave trade in the 18th century, the British equivalent of Roots. We've had lots of, I think, great novels about the post-war period by people like Andrea Levy, but I think we are still, I think there is still far more that novelists in particular can give us about the centuries of Britain's empire of slavery. So I think artists are the people who change culture, and I think artists are the people who can take this material that's been exhumed from the archives by historians and make it into something new, which has impacts on people in different ways. I mean, there's lots of new plays being written about this history. There are television programs being made. There's the hope of feature films and drama series. I think we need art. We need art is the thing that changes people's hearts. I think historians can give us information, but I think people's hearts changed when art does that magical thing of allowing us to embody the experiences and share the experiences of people who lived long before we were born.